Hello there, mathematicians, and welcome to the second part of today's math lesson. Go ahead and follow along with me as I read our goal. Goal. I can think flexibly about adding and subtracting within 10. Do you know what it means to think flexibly about math? When I think about thinking flexibly about math, that just means that I'm able to think about something in more than one way. And that is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So follow along with me. Over here, I have what we call Unifix cubes. And so let's go ahead and count to see how many Unifix cubes we have. Count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 Unifix cubes. So listen, what we've been doing, one second, I'm going to move my computer so that we can see this. We've been working on these base 10 frames, just like this. And right here I have 10 dots. And over here, I also have 10 dots. So I want you to think, even though these both have 10 dots, how are they different in the way that they're represented? How are they different? Think about that for a second. You can go ahead and whisper it to me. How are they different? I'm listening. Here, can I share with you how I see them as being different? Over here, I see these 10 Unifix cubes as being stacked all together. And right here, I really see this 10 as 5 plus 5. And I'll be honest, I can look at this base 10 frame and see it as 5 plus 5 and know that it's 10. But over here, I couldn't look at these right away and just know that they are 10. But if I go over here, you'll see I have some more Unifix cubes that are color-coded so that it's easier to see how many Unifix cubes there are. So I'm going to ask you another question. When we've been working with these base 10 frames like this, there's another really important difference. Over here, with these Unifix cubes, even though they're color-coded, there are always 10 Unifix cubes. But with our base 10 frames, even though there could be 10 dots in our frames, sometimes what happened? Some of the dots were, what would you say? Some of the dots were missing. So it didn't always add up to 10. Sometimes it was 5, sometimes it was 7. So over here, though you might have things broken up into two numbers, they always add up to, tell me, they add up to 10. So just as we were working on writing math equations, or you might call it a math expression with our base 10 blocks, with our base 10 frames, we're going to do the same thing except with Unifix cubes. So here, let's do the first one together, and then I'm going to give you a try to do two of them by yourself. So if I look over here at this Unifix cube, can you tell me how many white Unifix cubes are there? Tell me. There are 1. So, listen, when I look at these blue, I can't automatically know how many blue ones there are looking at the blue. But if I know that there are 10 Unifix cubes all together and there's 1 white Unifix cube, boys and girls, how many blue ones are there? Can you think for a second? That means that there are 9 blue Unifix cubes. So I'm going to get my marker Oops, I like this blue color. So I'm going to write a math equation that matches that. I can say that 10, thank you for being patient, minus 1 equals 9. So even though my answer right here for my math equation is 9, what number is in that math equation? 10, because there are still 10 to start out with. So I have another question. Could I take this and reverse it? I could look at this as having 10 altogether, and I could do the opposite. I could say 10 minus the 9 blue Unifix cubes gives me what? 10 minus 9 is 1. So now I wrote 2 subtraction problems. But boys and girls, could I write an addition problem as well? I sure can. Right here, I have 1 white Unifix cube plus my 9 blue Unifix cubes equals how many Unifix cubes, boys and girls? Tell me. 10. And then finally, I wrote this as 1 plus 9, but could I think about it the opposite way with looking at my blue first and then my white? I sure could. So I could also think of it as 9 plus 1 equals 10. Wow, boys and girls, I'm looking at my math equations. What do they all have in common? Can you tell me? What do you see that they all have in common? Whisper it to me. They actually have several things in common. They have the number 10. They all have the number 1. And they all have the number 9. So now that we've walked through this together, it's going to be your turn to write math equations that match a different Unifix cube. So this is what we're going to do right here. I have another Unifix cube that is color-coded. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause this video, and I want you to write down as many math equations as you can that match this Unifix cube. And then I'm going to try and guess what's on your paper. So go ahead and hit pause and write down as many math equations as you can that match this Unifix cube. Are you back with me? So let's go ahead and pop right in, and I'm going to try and guess what's on your paper. So if I look right here, I see 1, 2, 3 Unifix cubes. And I know that all together, I have 10 Unifix cubes. So if I know that I have 3 here and I have 10 altogether, then these green Unifix cubes make 7 Unifix cubes. So listen, if you have 3 plus 7 equals 10, I want you to meow like a cat. Can you? Meow. Alrighty, if you're still meowing, you can stop. I'm going to show you another one. You might have seen this as 3 plus 7 equals 10, but maybe you looked at this and you said, I see 7 green plus the red equals 10, and you knew that 7 plus 3 equals 10. So let's see, if you have 7 plus 3 on your paper, I want you to clap 3 times. Alrighty, I'm not done guessing. Some of you might have seen this as a subtraction problem. Maybe you started out with the number 10 and you knew that there were 10 altogether. So if you took away your 3 red Unifix cubes, 10 minus 3 would equal 7. Let's see. If you have 10 minus 3 equals 7 on your paper, I want you to wiggle your ears. Will you wiggle your ears if 10 minus 3 is on your paper? Alrighty, I've got one more up my sleeve. Some of you might have started again with the number 10. You knew that there were 10 Unifix cubes, and you knew that there were 7 over here, and that 10 minus 7 equals 3. So let's see. If you have 10 minus 3 on your paper, can you snap your fingers? Will you snap with me or try to snap? I know that snapping's a little hard. So if we see right here, all of our math equations have the number 3, 7, and 10 somewhere in here. So listen, I'm going to ask you a true or false question before we move on to the next one. I want to know if the next one, and let's see, you know what, I might change my color just so that it's in a different color. We can go with orange. I want to know if 3 plus 4 equals 7 matches this problem. Does 3 plus 4 match this problem? You can show me a thumbs up yes or a thumbs down no. Can you explain? Tell me, does it match our Unifix cube over here? I'm listening. Here, can I tell you what I think? Even though our math problem has 7, and I could say I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to equal 7. Over here, this says equals 7. So, my number sentence, my math equation, is telling me that there are 7 Unifix cubes altogether. Is that true? No, I don't have 7 Unifix cubes. I have 10 Unifix cubes. So 3 plus 4 does not match my Unifix cubes because there are 10 altogether. Whether I'm adding up to 10 or I'm starting at 10 and subtracting, I know that if there are 10 altogether, my math equation has to have the number 10. Are you ready to try this one more time? So we're going to hop on to the next one. So we're going to do the same thing. In a moment, I want you to press pause and I want you to write down as many math equations as you can that match my Unifix cube. Go ahead and hit pause. Are you back with me? So let's see. I'm going to try one more time to guess what is on your paper. And you know what? I sure like that blue, so I'm going to make sure I have that blue. When I look at this right away, I can see that it sure looks like I have the same number of brown cubes as I do orange. But I'm going to go ahead and double check by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one way that I could look at this as 5 plus 5 equals 10. So let's see. If 5 plus 5 equals 10, is on your paper, I want you to show me googly eyes. Can you show me googly eyes? Can you put your hands down? So listen, usually I'm able to reverse things, kind of like over here where I have 3 plus 7 equals 10 and 7 plus 3 equals 10. But over here, since it's the same number, I can't really turn it in reverse. It's just 5 plus 5 equals 10. But I have another idea for what else could be on your paper. Did anyone say 10 minus 5 equals 5? If 10 minus 5 equals 5 is on your paper, I want you to show me moose ears. Will you show me moose ears if 10 minus 5 is on your paper? Alrighty. Awesome job, boys and girls. We're going to do one more true or false. So I'm going to switch colors again. And I want to know, could I look at this and say that 2 plus 3 equals 5? Think in your think tank. Does 2 plus 3 equals 5 match our Unifix cube over here? You can show me a thumbs up yes if you think it does, or a thumbs down no if you think it doesn't. Can you explain to me in a whisper voice, does 2 plus 3 equals 5 match this? Why or why not? Whisper it to me. I'm listening. Here, can I tell you what I think? Even though the number 5 is in my Unifix cube, remember, we're not just looking at part of the Unifix cube, we're looking at all of the Unifix cubes together. And total, I have 10 Unifix cubes altogether. So this 2 plus 3 equals 5, it's really only looking at part of it, and I need to look at the whole thing. So it does not match my Unifix cube because it doesn't have what number? It doesn't have 10. I have to look at the whole thing. Alrighty, boys and girls, thank you so much for stretching your thinking with me today. And in just a second, you are going to get to go on a Google form, and it's going to ask you a math question. And your math work's going to be turned into your teacher, whether it's me or another second grade teacher, and it is your chance to show off what you have learned from these lessons. Bye for now, and see you soon, mathematicians.